Hello, and once again, welcome to another episode of An Issue of Faith. I am Reverend Ken Badger, and today I have a very, very special guest, Miss Rochelle Hamm. Hello, Rochelle. It was
Hey,
so
Rev.
good to see you again. I'm telling you, I could go on and on and on about Rochelle and her family and how we met, but this is very special to me. It is. It's very special to have her on the show and to have watched her over the years and to see all of the things that she's gone through. So this episode is going to be based on faith in the face of hopelessness. See, that'll make a whole lot of sense. If y'all don't know a thing about Rochelle, you're going to know a lot about her and her story by the time we finish this episode. So Rochelle, like I said, it was very good to see you again. I'm glad you weren't in the room. I was talking and my wife was asking me, "What is wrong with you? What are you crying for?" I said, "You just don't understand, man. I mean, some people come along in your lifetime that touch you so in your spirit that you automatically connect, and you're always connected in that spiritual place." So go ahead, Rochelle. I'll let you tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you got here to Jacksonville, and then some of the things that have brought us to this point in your life.
I am Rochelle Hamm, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Me and my husband both, we met there. We used to work together. And then he came on down, and I followed him. And then we ended up, he ended up doing something else. I ended up still cooking. We ended up getting married, having 5 children. And at the time, we joined Bethel back in '95.
Bethel Baptist Institutional Church.
Yes,
I hear you. Strong, strong institution.
yes, yes. I learned a lot, got a good teachings and things of that nature to grow even the
Right.
more.
And I think that's where we initially met.
Right.
Right, we did. We met at Bethel. And I got there, it was about 2000. You had been there for a minute because when I got to Bethel, it was early 2000s. I think it was 2000. Yeah, about 2000. Yes, it was. And I joined in 2001. Then they put me to work in 2002. Being, once they found out I was a minister, oh, yeah, you won't sit still here.
That's right.
And so we did meet, and we would cross paths continuously. And then there was a gentleman I would cross paths with at the men's breakfasts, or in the church itself, just in fellowship. And that was Frank, right? And your baby. So Frank was an amazing individual. Frank
He's a
was
character.
Frank was all Baltimore. I'm here to tell you. And if you've never been to Baltimore, if you never dealt with folks from Baltimore, man, I'm telling you, you either gonna love them or you're gonna hate them, boy. And Frank was that lovable character that you had to love him because he was just himself. Yeah, I mean, and there's the only way that you can really
That's right.
describe him. And I tell you, he loved his family. But then there was something that happened. I know I came out. You guys asked me to come out and bless your home. And I came out and we blessed the home and we ate good. Oh my gosh, we ate good. Oh man, we did. We ate good and then we had some really good fellowship. And I had some good conversations with Frank, and I mean Frank was being himself. He's like, "Frank, Rev, I'm gonna have a little something to drink." Man, it's your house. And I
Right.
mean, I think that turned the corner for Frank and I,
Right.
and the kids were just amazing. And people don't get to see when you have a mother and father in the home, and you're giving them that love, but that stern direction. And that's the kind of man Frank was, and you being his partner, it was a partner thing, and to observe that was a beautiful thing. But then came the tragedy when the El Fargo went missing. I know that was a very hard thing to do initially because I know when I heard the news. And I'm saying to myself, I think that's the boat Frank was on. And then they announced the crew, and they were missing. So tell me how your faith, how that really put your faith to the test with all of that. I mean, facing the unthinkable just the fact that it was missing. I mean, you had to rely on your faith. So facing the unthinkable, I mean, if you can, just can you walk us through how your faith sustained you through all of that?
My faith was the only thing that got me through. I was angry. I wasn't mad with God, but I questioned God why. And because, I am from Baltimore.
Yes.
I'm a fighter,
Yes.
and I don't play the radio. And so I wanted answers. I needed answers as to how a vessel of that size could go out,
Thank you.
not return. And during the time they were searching,
Yes.
and I didn't want the search to stop.
Right.
I wanted to see, hey, it's unreal to me that 33 people just vanished. Like,
Right.
and then I questioned, why would they allow the crew to go out in a storm like that?
Really. And I believe that was a question that a lot of us were asking. How in the world?
Right.
And it wasn't like they didn't know the storm was there.
Right.
So I remember just the emptiness that I felt. And I mean, it cannot be anywhere compared to what you and your family were going through. And like I said, I don't think it's unreasonable or I don't think it's unreasonable. That's the only word I can really find for you to really step back and question God as to why. Like you said, 30 plus lives vanish. I know this whole city was on edge. And then the news came that the boat had sank. And I watched you from afar, and I prayed. And my heart sank, and I prayed. And I prayed. And as I told you when you talked, I've been praying with you for 10 years. I make it my purpose to once a month go over to the memorial at the Dames Point Bridge Park, just to go down there. And I know the first time I took my wife there with me, and she just saw me walk off and just stand and talk to Frank. And she finally asked me, why do you keep doing that? I said, man, that guy right there. I said, it's unimaginable because I blessed his house with him and his family and his wife. And I see his wife doing a lot of things with the company because she won't let it go. And I think that's when your rebirth. It was something happened that had a rebirth in your unwavering faith. And that's when you found, or someone else found, Frank's helmet.
Yes.
Tell us about that, because I know that was a bittersweet moment.
Oh, God.
Man, tell us about the helmet showing up.
There was a family down in Ormond Beach. They were cleaning the beach.
Right.
And they reached out to me, and we talking 2016.
Right. Yeah, right.
And she said, I think this belonged to your husband. And she had a picture of it and everything. And all I saw was Frank's writing. And I said, this can't be. And I felt so bad because I didn't reach out to her right then because I wasn't on Facebook like that. And so I had to gather the kids, and we went down and met them.
Right.
And the husband, it was hard for him to release Frank's helmet to us because he was a Miami Dolphins fan.
Right.
So was Frank.
Right.
He was a DJ. So was Frank. He had already been on Frank's page and and looked up everything. And Tony broke down and went to crying when he gave me Frank's helmet.
Okay.
And we became family.
Yes.
You know, and then they started asking questions. Well, I didn't know that they lived on the ship and stuff like that, because toothbrushes, shoes, and all that kind of stuff was
Wow.
brushing up on the
Okay.
on the beach. And I told them, I said, yeah, they basically live on that
Yes.
vessel,
Yes.
you know, while they're working.
Mm-hmm.
And out of everybody, they found Frank's helmet, and he said he told his wife, "Do not get rid of it. I feel something from it."
Oh,
You
wow.
know, and he released it, and I mean that was just like Frank saying, "I'm okay."
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. Like a message,
exactly.
just I mean, if you stop and you think about that, just that one incident, you know, because Ormond Beach is only, it's 90 miles away from here, but just to be that close where you can actually get up and travel and have that piece of him brought back into your life. And the thing, like you said, you recognize his handwriting. And like you said, it's a message. There he is again.
Right.
Frank, hey, I'm good. I'm
But
good.
the blessing for me was the ship sank near the Bahamas.
Yes,
So for his helmet to travel
all that way.
all that way,
Like it was trying to get to you.
right?
Like he was sending that message to you. Hey,
Right.
look, right?
That's a long way.
Hmm. But it's like when I think about it, it's like the Olympic torch.
Yeah.
You know, the Seas carried it so far, and it was their job.
Right.
It was Tony's job
Right.
to bring it the rest of the way.
Right.
And that's one torch that I know even now is still burning. It burns in you. And I know you do a lot of work with the company to bring awareness and safety, especially safety awareness, to what's going on these ships. So I just want you to dive into life after the unthinkable. You know, the things you're doing now, how your faith brought you to this point to where you are in your life. And I see you, and we talk, and that smile, I mean, it is so infectious. It lights up a room. And
Thank you.
I see it on you now, and it's not like you're smiling through a fog. It's more now like you are a lighthouse. You're a beacon to people out there who are going through things, other widows who need to hear your voice and to feel your spirit, especially who have gone through similar tragedies. So could you tell us a little bit about that life after this unthinkable tragedy, not just in your lives, but in the lives of so many people?
Well, one of the things I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
nobody else to deal with this or go through this. And so I went to fight to have a federal law passed
There you go.
in Frank's name, and it's called the Hamm Alert Maritime Safety Act Bill.
There you go.
And I started here in Jacksonville, talking to Senator Nelson and his team,
Yes.
and it led me to Washington.
Yes.
And I met with the Coast Guard in Washington, NTSB in Washington. I was on the Hill in Washington. I just got in my mode.
Yes.
I wasn't playing no games. And DC was telling me, Ms. Hamm, it happens all the time. What do you want us to do? And I'm like, here's my list of demands.
Right.
They wasn't on a cruise. They wasn't partying. They wasn't on vacation. They went to work and never came home from work.
Wow.
And that's a problem.
It is a problem.
That's a problem. And no one cares. That's a problem. You know? And I didn't want it to just be a Jacksonville thing.
Right.
Because I felt some type of way about the officials.
Mm-hmm.
No one was there.
What?
No one was there.
was there.
No one came to bat for us. No one came to fight for us. And I didn't want it to just be a Jacksonville thing. I wanted it to be a national thing.
There you go.
That's why I went over everybody's head to the ones who listen,
There you go.
to the ones who can make it right.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it didn't bring our loved ones back, but at least we can prevent this happening to somebody else.
Right.
The ships are safer. You know, they have one of the things that I wanted was, what I learned was they got in trouble for reporting things. If they would call in and say, hey, it's a hole in the ship, well, who is this on the phone? And they would get in trouble for
Wow.
reporting things. And I got educated so that way I can talk like they talk. The vessel, muster, things like that. And I wanted an anonymous button to be on the vessels. If somebody saw something, they can just hit it. And it will automatically signal that something is wrong. And that's being manifested right now. My daughter met a mariner a couple of weeks ago, not knowing who he was. He didn't know who she was. She didn't even disclose who she was.
Okay.
And he was talking to his friend and said, yeah, the captain, don't have say so. And, they can, oh my God, my thoughts
Yeah,
right there.
the staff.
But
the
the sailors can say, hey, we're not going to do this, we're going to do this.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're all skilled, they're all trained.
Exactly.
I don't care if they were on their scrubbing toilets. Everybody has to go to school. Everybody has to have credentials. So they know what they're talking about. They know their job, And so now there's something in place that say, hey, if this vessel is not, it'll get a flag. I had my friends say, Ham, my daughter's ship came back because they saw something wrong, and that does my heart good.
Great.
That does my heart good. And I advocate for the mariners, the young mariners. I said, don't email me from the ship. Don't call me from the ship. Use your phone because it's confidential with me. I wanted to get to the bottom of it.
And I'm so glad, the Hamm, it's the Hamm
Yes, Hamm.
Act. All the way to Washington.
Yes, sir.
Started as a little old tiny snowball. You pushed that snowball uphill and made it big.
I wasn't playing.
I know you weren't, man. I know.
He's the head and I'm the neck.
There you go. There you go. And people, once and that's one thing that I did notice, and I said as I watched from afar, because I saw you go through that whole process along with Senator Nelson and so on. And I was saying once again to some people, I said, man, she's not going to let that go.
Not at all.
And she should not, especially when you're talking about the safety and the lives of people who are putting their lives on the line, as it is.
Right.
Because the seas are rough sometimes, and as we see, they are unforgiving. So I know a lot of young men and women who are from right here in Jacksonville who have gone into being merchant marines and being into the maritime profession, and you have done something for them, and they don't even know that you're here, right? And I mean, I run across them constantly, because I think I told you I was teaching school, and some of those students went off to be merchant marines. To do something like that had to be spirit-led. It had to be done, and you had to have a spirit of unshakable faith to take that walk. Because we know when you're up against politicians, that's never an easy road. Because more than likely, they always want to know what's in it for them. And it was like God stepped in and said, okay, we're not going to have any of that. This young lady has a voice, and you are going to hear it.
Absolutely.
And I'm here to tell you, boy, they had no clue.
None. And
they
I
had
was
no
there.
clue about who they were dealing with.
I was there in person. I didn't care. 3 years.
Yes.
3 years
You
of traveling up there.
You had to fight.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what kind of fighter they had. Ooh, man. That was like sticking your hand inside of a hornet's nest and trying to pull it out with a handful of honey. You can't do it. They were in for the fight of their lives. Well, Ro, I am so glad that you were able to come and to be on the show and to enlighten not just Jacksonville but the rest of the world to your contribution to the safety of our maritime vessels and how it came about, and your beautiful family, and of course that strong man Frank. And I tell you, she always says that whatever we thought, that's my baby. And I tell you, although he is not present, he is not missed. He has made an impact on myself and on the city and now on the world. His name shall now live on in infamy. Thank you. And that's all because of you. So once again, I'd like to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of An Issue of Faith. And remember, this is October. We still have the NAACP Freedom Fund luncheon. If you want information, tickets, and you just go to Jacksonville NAACP at jacksnaacp.org or .com, and you'll be able to get all your information. Once again, I'm Reverend Ken Badger, An Issue of Faith. Be blessed.